So, hi, how's it going? So, I'm Luca Bergero from Italy. Thank you for being here. I'm really super happy to be in Sarajevo. It's a city that I love, so I'm really proud. And I work for a company called Agile Reloaded. We work in the field of Agile coaching and Agile transformations. Personally, currently, I'm following some projects related to Agile HR, so topic as talent, feedback, and things like this. And, oh yeah, thanks to our sponsor too. As I anticipated during my pitch, this talk is a story about a company that tried to evolve fast, really to survive in a challenging environment. So I was an employee of that company, so I followed that project personally. It has been a really interesting experience because it was a failure. It has been a failure. So personally, I think it has been a really good experience for me personally, but for the organization also. So I use this quote from Bohr: "An expert is a man who has made all the mistakes which can be made in a very narrow field." Maybe not the old mistakes, but quite a good amount. So I give you some background and some context to let you understand what happened there. This story is about a company called Arca. Arca is a Latin word meaning cash box. It's a company founded in 1998, and the headquarters is located in Melbourne, North Carolina, US. Arca works in the field of cash automation, so it works for financial institution and retail market. The core product is this one. It's a cash recycler, so mostly it's a safe with some cassettes in and an intelligent top layer. So you can imagine you can put a bundle of notes in, the notes are recognized and validated and stored in the safe. So we are talking about a company that is producing hardware systems, complex hardware systems. And this is really a challenging environment. You can imagine we are all hearing about the transformation of the banks, the transformation of the bank system as a whole. We are talking about the self-service solution branches, so that world is changing pretty fast. And also, those systems are really complex. There's a hardware part, the safe, the cassette, there's a super intelligent reader to detect the notes. And also the requirements are changing, both from banks, both from the fields. You can imagine new notes released, new counterfeits, old notes take out of the market. So this world is moving pretty fast, and this company is trying to follow up with this. So in 2014, Arca acquired an Italian company called CTS Group that was one of the leaders in this area of the market. And between 2014 and 2016, Arca tried to increase its capacity, moving from less than 100 people to more than 500 people, really with the goal to build a global company, a global R&D, and to be able to work with all the different continents and to develop new products. So it has really been a really interesting moment. And just a comment about the Italian side, what I call the Italian side. That part of the R&D is located in Ivrea. Ivrea is a very famous city for Olivetti. Anybody of you knows about Olivetti? It was the leader in the typewriting machine and personal computer at least up to the 70s and then in the 80s before a big crisis in that company. So almost whole family, almost all families have relatives working for that company in that area. So that company created a very strong technical background for that area and also a super strong cultural background. You can imagine a lot of people working that time for Olivetti are still working for companies in that area, especially for Arca now. So there's still a sense of nostalgic attitude, something like, oh, when I work for Olivetti, so it was like a dream today. I want to highlight this because, from my perspective, this had a big impact on what we try to achieve with that project. 2014, ARCA started with its first Scrum project. It was a web application of a team in the US. So I would say that this has been the pilot project for Scrum and Agility in the company. Then, big change. 2015 and 16, the company decided to use Scrum with all the R&D. So trying to apply Scrum also with the hardware teams, okay? Same time, company realized that it needs an Agile PMO. Well, we don't call it this way, we call it Technology Innovation Program Office. I was part of this team. So our main goal was to coach the teams, train the teams, and in particular to foster the Agile initiative in the company. So we also act as in a very continuous improvement approach, both at team level and at the organizational level, trying to really foster the Agile initiative, trying to do our best to communicate what we were doing, and also trying to remove impediments at company level. What about the cultural operating system of that company? 2014 again, ARCA decided to adopt holacracy as the organizational framework of the company. So the company has been restructured, in circles and roles, giving a constitution to all its members almost at the same time. I don't know if you are familiar with holacracy, but it's based on Agile principle, lean, sociocracy, and other methods. So it is based on governance with a safe-to-try approach, trying to give the possibility to evolve very fast in the organization, okay? So giving a lot of accountability and freedoms to the teams to decide the next level of the company and the next level of the structure of the company. So I would say that this has been the very first big change decided by the leadership from ARCA. And this has been also the very first moment when we hit challenges. If I think to the previous Italian company, it was a company very oriented to a command control approach. So using a LaLu model, it was kind of amber-orange organization. So people were used to do what they're being told to do. So not a lot of communication between different teams, not a lot of communication between the leadership and the teams. So you can imagine the power and the impact in trying to be overnight from a command and control company towards a TIL company. It was tough, okay? A lot of people were not ready for such a big change. So here we started to have some trouble. So this gave us a quite good picture of our system. We had a top layer with holacracy as our organizational framework. Then we had Agile with Scrum. Other teams followed some Lean and Six Sigma practices. We also had one Kanban to visualize the work at company level, limiting the work in progress. You can imagine we had tons of new feature requirements and change requests, so we used that system to improve it that way. And this was the result of our Agile transition at its best, with 9 programs, about 21 Scrum teams, both hardware and firmware software, For each, we created different roles, obviously, like product owner, scrum master. We also had some chief product owner for the teams, for the platform that we call solution platform owner. We had some Scrum of Scrums events to get the team aligned and to raise impediments and to collect impediments. We also created different community practice to share knowledge and to share all the important information through all the teams. So this was the highest point of our transition. That could be, considering the short time, it was a process about less than 1 year, we arrived there, could look great, I mean, from my perspective. Well, it was not. I don't like very much the word resistance, okay? To be honest, I don't like it. I prefer to use the word readiness. The people was not ready, and we started to have a lot of problems. We have been seen as virus in the company, so most of the team tried to reject us. No problem, considering the holacracy adoption plus Agile adoption, this could be, I mean, I understand them, and that's okay, but we had a lot of problems working with the team and trying to find the good approach and the good structure of the company using the Scrum or other Agile frameworks. So what happened? June this year, the manager that was leading the Agile transformation and was the sponsor left the company. So another manager arrived, and maybe not the first, but the second thing that he did was to cancel the initiative. So I would say that this initiative has been quite fragile. That's the moment where I left the company for my new adventure. So using kind of retrospective format, I want to give you my perspective of what we did well and what we didn't. And to do that, I will use the Kotter's model. It's a model that supports you in a change process, in a change management process, not because we use it specifically, but I want to use it as a backbone of my explanation of my perspective. So the first point is create a sense of urgency with the people you involved in the change. I think that we started well. The message was, if we won't do this, we won't be able to succeed in 3-5 years. And there was a good willingness to innovate, to release new products, but we haven't been able to share this effectively through all the companies. It was focused on technology only, in the technology department only. And then there was too much attention on previous successes also, so a lot of people do not realize this real sense of urgency. Second one is build a guiding coalition. So I was part of this team. It was a great team, to be honest. A lot of motivation, a lot of diversity. Some came from the military, some came from the project leadership, some came from the project planning. So there was a good mixture of skills and a lot of motivation, as I said. But we started trying to engage some managers also. At the beginning, they accept this. Then when they realize that potentially their role will change, the team would change, they stopped to collaborate with us, okay? And also, we had no opportunity to involve someone from the business side in this guiding coalition. So at the end, this guiding coalition was not influential enough, was not powerful enough to really lead this initiative. Strategic vision and strategies. One of the core values of that company is embrace change. So it's a company really oriented to change, fast changes. And the leadership was available to accept the Agile initiative. But at the same time, Agile was not an official initiative of the company. It was something born in the technology department, so it was not strong enough from my perspective. And at the same time, there were too many uncoordinated strategies, like, as I said, holacracy and Agile. We had not been able to collaborate between us, and this really didn't work. People was pretty upset what was happening with holacracy, what is happening with Agiles without connection. Communicate the vision. We did our best to do that in multiple occasions. And also the sponsor tried to do his best, but he was late. He was late in doing this, so he was not able to get other leaders involved in the initiative. Remove obstacles and empower action. The Scrum Masters were extremely committed in doing this. But we faced a lot of bureaucracy that in Italy is a crazy problem. And also without having good management representative in the teams, we get not enough result in doing this. So the teams were pretty upset, highlighting impediments, seeing no results from their messages. And generate short-term win. We had good results, especially from a communication point of view and collaboration inside the teams. We also had some good results in delivering some products. But following a suggestion from an external consultant at the very early stage of the transition, we started with a big bang adoption. So almost involving all the teams at the same time. This didn't allow us to make enough experiments, maybe with smaller products or smaller modules, so to collect feedbacks, to make some mistakes, to learn. So we started with very big products at the same time, and this has been extremely critical. At that point, it doesn't make a lot of sense to speak about consolidated gains, because, and in particular to enter in the culture that are the last two steps of the Kotter model, because we didn't reach that moment. So to summarize what we didn't well, we have been ineffective in sharing the message of the technology department. The guiding coalition was not influential enough because of the managers not enough involved. Multiple uncoordinated initiatives like holacracy, Agile, and Lean also. So there was a lot of confusion. Later communicate the vision, ineffective in removing obstacles. So we have not been able to foster a servant leadership approach. And the end, a big bang adoption with not enough experimentation to collect feedback and to learn for our specific case. So as I said, what happened looks like a very fragile system. From the work of Taleb, we know that a fragile system is a system that gets broken under stress. Then we have a robust system that is a system that resists up to a certain threshold of stress, or resilient if it backs to its original state after the stress. Or we could have an anti-fragile system that is the opposite of a fragile system. So it's a system that under stress improves. So my system, if I see this Agile transition as a system, I'm sure it was a fragile system. An external stress arrived, like a new manager, and everything collapsed. How to make an anti-fragile system? We can ask this question at organizational level with companies. I think we should ask this question also with our Agile transition. I think that a good point could be don't overprotect the system. When you create barriers for your system, it's true, you protect your system, but you don't allow your system to create its own immune system to deal with external challenges. Then welcome uncertainty. Uncertainty should be like a gym when the system trained to develop its capability to react to external challenges. And then also use different strategies. So don't clone the same strategies through all the system. Use concurrent and alternative strategies. And finally, I think that the best approach would be to base our decision on experiments in a very, I would say, experiment the way you experiment, accepting failure as a mean to collect information, as a mean to grow the company. In this sense, I like very much this approach from popcorn flow, like you call it today. So if changes are, make it continuous. So a lot of small experiments to collect information in a very, very fast way. I think this could be a good approach to continuously improve and to avoid to build a fragile system, fragile organization, and a fragile agile transition also. So thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Please get in contact through LinkedIn or email. I will be pleased. Thanks.